Hello, hello. Good morning. How's it going, y'all? We're back after the long weekend, at least a long weekend here in the States. We're ready to get back to work. All right. I'll fade out the music here in a second. Hey, Saul Michael, welcome in. Thanks for hanging out. We can talk about what we're working on. So you say all you see at the moment is FTL and Godot. You're curious on what's going to happen. You're working on a game, not FTL, but it has science. For flow of the game, you're starting at the Stone Age. That's awesome. That's hardcore. So you're going like civilization style, where you like start like really bare bones and you like work your way up. That's cool. The more, it's all good. You're working on the art. Oh, nice. You're doing the art yourself. So you probably won't be speaking much. The more stuck you are, the more you'll talk. All right. You've been here before. Oh, your name was 50V. Oh, it's like Solok. You were Solok. That's right. Nice. Welcome back. Yeah, we're still working on our FTL, like our isometric 3D FTL. Like we've been busy working on a lot of back end stuff for it. Hey, Ryson. How's it going? Hope you had a good holiday weekend. If you got one, if you got a long weekend, hope you enjoyed it. Figured out that bug we were stuck on for a long time. It was really stupid. I'm deeply embarrassed. But we resolved it. So we can drag out tiles now. We should. I don't think I broke anything. Oh, maybe I did break something. Oops, I broke something else. What did I break? Oh, the ABB is broken. Are you trying to open the solution twice? Whatever. I don't know what's happening with Ryder, but it's freaking out. It's freaking out, man. What's the difference between these? All right, so we were having an issue with get index. Let's just run it back and we'll debug it directly in Ryder here. That's cool. What's kind of the style, uh, Saul Michael? 2D? 3D? What kind of stuff are you doing? All right, excuse me. We're out of range. Okay. So we're passing in 15, 15, 5. That's like the max. So if coords are less than minimum or coords are greater than maximum. What's our minimum and maximum? 0, 0, 0. 14, 14, 5. Where did we get this number from? Let's go back. End is comp.aabb.size with so comp.aabb.size. Ah, okay, that doesn't work. Can't do that. Okay, that's easy. I don't know why that wasn't causing us a problem before. We're just gonna hack it in and say maximum for now. In this case, what we should do is we should say get index presumes a global position. So what we should say instead of 0, we should say comp.aabb.minimum. Well, hold on. It should be minimum width z equals area. We just want to iterate over this specific area. We don't want to cross areas for this phase. That should work. So Michael, you plan on using the achievement section of Steam, if you can, to auto-create items in the game. Anyone can find like relics. Interesting. The first one to do certain achievements will get their name put into the game, and whatever achievement they complete, like such and such was the first person to kill every boss. Not sure if it's possible. Yeah, I think that's might be a little tough. Because usually the game stuff informs the achievements. It's not like the other way around, where like the achievement thing affects the game, but maybe it is. If you do early access, that's probably possible. I had it right for the most part. Civ type game. It's mostly crafting and science stuff, building things based around physics that are discovered in game. If someone discovered electricity in game, they will be the first ones to invent it. Oh, cool, cool. Then they'll get a relic with their name on it. That's awesome. Is it more of a strategy game, like more, abstract, or do you like have a specific character? Is it more of like a survival game? Why did this fail again? Oh, did I? I just changed this. What? Oh, we have this twice. I forgot. Oops. Some of these we could define outside of this. Like these could just be out here. This is such a hacky way to do it right now, where we split. That should be fine. Let's try this. I got a relic with their name on it that they can find later. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so now 11, 11, 15. Why do we keep hitting 15? Would be my question. Oh, because we're hitting the edges. Right, we need to address this. We keep trying to get the neighbor. We're trying to get the neighbor of a block, and we're hitting the edge. So I need to constrain that somehow. And it was silently failing before because we were checking all of it, but now we're exceeding the boundaries. We can't wrap around. We're actually checking now. I added a bunch of stuff to the AABB over the weekend. I added ways of getting overlapping and non-overlapping enumerations back. I feel like we'd already done this where we were getting coords and indexes by global coordinates instead of local coordinates. I rewrote a lot of the tool system a little bit so that we weren't constantly getting the span, and so that we can do batch, and also so that we can do batch modifications. So a bunch of small little things, but clearly I added a safety check here that we're triggering now. So I need to fix that. So we're getting neighbors all the time. So like this, we need to like skip. We could ask if a position is enclosed. Uh, so Michael, it's RPG base building, survival, farming, starting off. Ooh, starting off. Or we'd be grinding. Basically, where you're at right now is mixing Vampire Survivors and Zelda dungeons. Oh, the dungeons are the grinding area they can use to get more materials. Each organism can drop stuff for crafting. Most if not all of it can be broken down into base elements like gold, iron, and they use those for research to find things they can build later. Nice. Wow, that's really cool. OG. Ah, okay, I see. I see. OG Zelda. That sounds interesting. You need to wake up more. Your spelling is off. You need coffee. Yes, always coffee. All right. So how do I want to do the basically a safety check for like whenever I try to get a neighbor? So where do we use opposite position? Okay, so there. So whenever we pull the block out of the buffer, I almost want to do like a safety check. Buffer also, I think I'm changing the way this buffer works. So previously I'm doing it like this, comp. Previously how I had this set up was that you would get the component out of the world. So you get your component, and then you would need to separately call your buffer from the world. And so you would need to carry around both the component and the buffer. I've actually changed that so that now you can just call in the buffer as if it's a component. So you can get the buffer component, and then you can just call a read write or a read only span from the buffer. So you only have to carry one thing around. And it's kind of cool. You can treat the buffers as if they're components now, as far as, just getting them and having them and not having to get the component so that you have all the metadata about the buffer and then getting the buffer separately using that data. You don't have to do the two-step anymore, but I realize I actually have to update that here. So we're going to rename this to span. Yeah. Oh, this is read-only span. Do I want to update it to that? Probably. You just say read-only span. And this becomes buffer. And then read-only span is actually buffer dot read-only. Probably call it read-only span instead of read-only, but whatever. Buffer, I think I set up the buffer to have its own get index, so you don't have to go buffer AAB get index. The AAB has an encloses function. Maybe the buffer could have an includes, and you pass it like, if you pass it a vector, it does an enclosure check. Or we do it contains. I say encloses, and I like encloses for the AABB, but I don't necessarily like it for a buffer. If we go into the block buffer, we could have like a bool, includes index, and then it would just be like return index is less than length. Index is greater than or equal to 0 and less than length. I think it'd be really bad form to accidentally I guess we should just raw say is buffer length less than this. The thing is, if we get the index and the index is not and the index is out of bounds, we just throw an error. I kind of wanted just a simple way of checking. I guess we could just do the AABB dot encloses for this. It's the simplest way to start. So we can get rid of this and this. So this might be out of bounds. This addition of op block. So should we do like call this opposite x? Make this a little shorter. So here we need to check to see if this is going to go out of bounds. I mean, I could have a try get index in the context of when it's unsafe to do so. But that's a little, I don't like, I tried formulating that and I don't like it because you end up using nulls. I don't really like that. So you love having a fiance that can make better coffee than Starbucks. I mean, it sounds like you've made a good choice. Excuse me, sorry. It's been so dry lately. I have this cough that won't go away. So Saul, are you doing like a 2D top-down thing like Zelda? Or is that just kind of, or were you just invoking that for the like the dungeon aspect? Sounds interesting. All right. So what we're doing here is basically if we have an X neighbor and a Y neighbor, which is like basically like a block in front of us on each side, we need to check those. But the problem is those this might be out of bounds. And so I guess I should just do an enclosure check, huh? I should say if buffer.aabb.encloses this. Let me make sure I'm getting the right amount of there. So if we enclose these coordinates, then we can check this. That's how we're going to do this for now. I'll probably come up with a better way to do this later. Nick Stokes, how do you find doing the coding in C# compared to GDScript? What made you go in that direction? Hey, Nick. Welcome in. We have kind of an interesting use case. So we're doing this kind of isometric 3D game, this FTL-like. So we're going to be building these big 3D ships and have lots of little people running around them, systems interacting, power systems being simulated, like, power being distributed from one system to another, stuff. There's going to be a lot of simulation going on. And I kind of wanted to limit the amount of that stuff that needed to be in the scene tree. So our scene tree is like really simple in theory. We haven't really fleshed it out very much. We're still working on the tile editor tool. We have this game node that's like the root of our scene tree. And we have a few nodes. We have like, I call it the board, like the game board, and all node 2D elements are going to be in here. So these are like anything that needs to be rendered goes in here. And then there's a UI, obviously. We'll still have a UI. Right now it's just rendering a little palette for us to be able to select what blocks we want to place down. But everything else, the simulation layer, I basically pulled out of the scene tree, and we're doing it in C#. So we're doing it in a little entity component system I've made. So we can basically simulate the world with very lightweight data, like just entities and components and stuff. And then we have a process of getting that data back to the scene tree. So right now, all we're really doing is doing an auto tiler and calculating a tile map and sending the tile map back to Godot. But so we've kind of done a domain differentiation. So like the simulation layer is in C# in this other little world, but the rendering and the UI and stuff, that's still in GDScript, and that's still using nodes. So we've kind of just divided our responsibilities a little bit. But I like it. So far, it's okay. I'm kind of working my way around a restriction of it, which is like if you try to talk to the Godot API from C#, you're doing this unmanaged managed kind of crossover. So you're incurring a lot of marshalling costs. So we actually don't talk to the Godot API in C# except in one place, which is this game node, which is like our doorway between the two worlds, which is in our scene tree, our root node. So that is our portal that we cross over. So basically our simulation layer prepares everything, and the game node sends it all back when it needs to. So at the moment, it's pretty much just sending over tile data and like forwarding like some commands. It's still pretty rough. We're still kind of in the tools development phase, but that's kind of how and why I've done that split. Hey, Scott Hopkins, how's it going? Soul, sorry, you responded to my question, and then I answered another question. Soul, you have an issue actually. You want to do the top-down thing for the dungeon only, but you don't have enough know-how yet to transfer things like that. How hard it is for ISO and Godot. ISO is a little hard. I built a custom auto tiler so that I could do ISO, but it's definitely not necessary. You could lay everything out by hand. The lighting, I think, gets a little tricky in isometric for Godot because of just the way the walls actually like cast shadows on other sprites. But it's very doable. It's very doable. I'd say it's a little tricky. It's definitely trickier than just standard top-down. Nick, cool. Thanks for the explanation. Looks like a cool project. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for hopping in and saying hi and asking questions. Appreciate that. I'd show you some of the stuff of where we're at, but I think we have a bug, or I think we are still working through a bug here. Back to, well, I can close all of this stuff. Back to here. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick check. This is just how we're going to do it for now. We're just going to do an enclosure check before we actually plug in those coordinates for the neighbor. Why was that how you wanted to do that? Oh, but you're not X, you're Y. Okay, and we just need to do the same thing down here. No. We do have a get index, and that's the opposite position. So anytime we invoke the opposite position, we need to do a boundary check, which is a little rough. Dogo Shuffle, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Soul, okay, you want the overworld to be like Paper Mario or Cult of the Lamb? How hard would it be to transfer between those graphics? Oh, we actually have a community member who's working on a project for kind of doing stuff like that, where you're transferring from like square flat on to like isometric stuff. I can't demonstrate it with my hand. I thought I could for a second. I would say it's a little challenging. I would say it's a little challenging to transfer between any two perspectives. It's doable, especially if you have the transfer occurring during like loading screens or whatever. But it would mean that your art would need to be very different for each world or each domain. Scott, you were watching one of the saved VODs on here. You love the stream intro music. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We got all that stuff from Pretzel Rocks, which has good music. They just don't have enough of it, so we've stopped playing it during the stream because we would just run out of music every stream. But yeah, I do still play it for the intros and outros. I like it. All right, I need a more elegant solution eventually because I actually need to. So like down here, we say we get the opposite block, and then we say if the opposite block has this, otherwise. So what if there is no opposite block? Then are we just outer? Is outer 2? Outer should probably be 0, huh? But that's not what I've written, so if opposite block, why are we checking this? For X or Y? If the opposite block is outside, what does that have to do with our hull? If there's an opposite block at all, then we have to do this. Because our opposite block is the block in front of us. It's like the block like smooshed against our face. So if there is one at all, then we're a middle hull. Yeah, this is the line. Are we outside or inside? Yeah, okay, okay. We need to check ourselves. And we probably need to move this. Oops. Move this. Page down and page up are right next to my entry keys. It's kind of a rough life. So we want else if buffer.aabb.encloses this. Oh, yeah, opposite position. Then we can do this. Otherwise, we need to do this. Hey, Scott. Other Scott. The YouTube Scots have assembled. Yeah, yeah. What are the odds? What are the odds? Like half my viewership are Scots. All right, so anywhere we're invoking the opposite position, we're doing an enclosure check. I want a better way to do this, but we're just writing out the logic as straightforward as possible, and we'll fix it. We'll make it better. We'll make it pretty later. So here's something. Oh yeah, I guess I could just register the op block here. Well, no, I don't want to do that because what I could do is I could say buffer.aabb.encloses. I could say this. I could say if we enclose this coordinate, oppos, opposite position, then we'll do this. Otherwise, we're going to say op block is block.empty or block.null. We'll give it a null block, which I should probably call empty or something instead, but okay, this way there's at least a block here for this operation. If block is empty, no, if the block is empty, why do we keep checking the other block? We should be checking ourselves here, right? Am I insane? Am I crazy? Whatever I'm doing here is probably gonna royally mess this up. This we can't do. What are we trying to do here? Opposite position plus the opposite position of the, oh God. This is unsafe. To do, make this safe. By checking to see if the door's opposite block is enclosed. I'm gonna say more safe. Probably not ever gonna be completely safe. Do we check for opposite positions anywhere else? I hope not. I don't think so. All right, let's see if we fixed it. We definitely fixed that one hall bug that we had by doing this. Okay. Okay. We have the wrong color already. I can see. Oh, no, no, no. This is right. Okay, so the sides are the right color. The top and the bottom. Oh, what is that? What is that happening there? Why can't I do that? What kind of enclosure check? Backwards. I can go backwards. Okay. Yeah, when we get up to the edge, it all of a sudden thinks it's inside. Okay. Okay. It should think everything's outside right now because we aren't implementing the okay, so the walls don't know they're outside. Okay, but we are recovering the previous tile data, which is good. We were not doing that before. Okay. So we have problems in a couple of places. I don't understand that corner case, and I swear that was working normally yesterday, so... I don't want to even think about that problem first. Let's think about some of this hull detection stuff. Here we're detecting like what kind of what kind of hull color we want to put, which is based on the kind of thing it is. So concept of a block being inside or outside, we do that, right? Okay, no, we do want to check the opposite block. I see, I see. So what we're saying is, if this is a door, we do whatever. What is this? Also a floor? This is a floor. So we're working through the floors, the decks. We're like, are we a door? Are we also a door? Then let's do some specific door. Let's do some door specific stuff here. If we're not a door, but instead we're a wall, and we're considering the z-axis of the floor, right? Right. That's an important caveat to this. So if there's a wall above our floor, like if we're just smooshed by this wall on top of us, then we're a middle hull because we're sealed. Otherwise, if not, we want to check. Okay, we do want to check the block above us. So we can do that. So instead of adding all these enclosure checks, can we just fill this? Can we do a default instead? So can we just say block op block equals, we can just do the check we did elsewhere, because I'd rather do that instead of having just conditionals everywhere and like enclosure checks everywhere. I'd rather just say something like buffer.aabb.encloses. Call this volume instead of buffer or something like that. It's unclear that this has a three-dimensionality to it. Because some buffers probably won't, but this is like a spatial positioning buffer. So I guess it's clear because I'm calling into its AABB. If that encloses opposite position, then we can just say the opposite block is read-only span buffer dot get index opposite position. Otherwise, we're just gonna plug in a block, a null block. That's how we're gonna do this. Where else do we define op block? Oh, we define another one down here somewhere. I see. So this is our opposite block. So we still need these enclosures here because we're generating another opposite block. That's fine. So if we enclose this other opposite block, then we get it, and we ask if this opposite block has so if we're at the top level, oh, we're trying to match the coloration of the floor in front of our door. But why are we doing it both of these? Shouldn't we be checking the direction of the door? I feel like this is wrong. Whatever we're doing here is wrong. Note. Or we'll say it to do. Let's fix a thing. Just to do. Take another look at this. I feel like this is not what we should be doing here. Doing for doors. That's fine. We aren't supporting doors currently in this version, so we can just skip this. Let's move on to the not a door case. So if read-only span index, so if we have a wall, yeah, that's easy. Then we're a middle hall. Otherwise, is the null block outside. Is the opposite block outside? I guess that is the correct check to make. Here, okay, here we're asking this. So we can get rid of this check because we're just filling it with a default. I like the Godot's dictionaries. Like, I guess C# has this too. I love the like get or default options where you're like, get me something from this collection or just put in the default. So you don't have to like ask if something has this. You just have a way of dealing with the default case. I definitely prefer that. Okay, so op block is already defined. Here we can just say, well, what we could do is we could say elif this. Well, if op block has a floor, then we're see, well, that doesn't make sense. So if we were looking at the floor above us, this shouldn't be the right check. So here I get it. Oh, this is if we are X or Y. So if we're X or Y, if it has a floor, then we're the middle hall. Okay, yeah, correct. Otherwise, we want to check opposite block. Check to see if it's outside. Okay, that was correct. I changed that and I was wrong to change that earlier. So op block, we're doing that here. We're generating one opposite block and we're just operating on it. This is not safe, but we've marked it as such, and we aren't doing it because we aren't supporting doors yet. So that's fine. That's fine. Why do we have it written this way? We could just say else will equals op block is outside. We're outside. That's it. Then we're outside. Turn that into a ternary. Just make it a little shorter. But is Z, so if we're a wall, oh, and the opposite block isn't empty, then yeah, okay, that follows. If the opposite block is empty, then we do want to check to see if it's outside. Okay, I think I've mostly fixed that. All right, everyone's back to thinking they're inside again, which is not an improvement. We're still doing this thing where, like, if we go to the edge on both sides, this happens. Like, what is going on there? There's clearly a tile here, but we're also, like, not rendering it. This is the maximum, so this is 14, 14, 5. Does it work? Does it work fine on the next level down? Because if so, then we just have a really simple problem here. No, it does not work fine on the next down. Okay, so it's not z-index related. And it is affecting everyone. Next thing I want to do is make these modifications additive. Because right now, if we add a wall to a floor, it erases the floor, which is like insane. I wonder what I did to mess that up. The block is there, we're just not rendering it. It's peculiar. Maybe we're not adding it to the haul list because it's like out of bounds or something. It's not out of bounds though. So what does an enclosure check do if something's at the boundary? No, that should be fine. 1414, it's the minimum. Our minimum we're defining in the test system as whatever this is. This is 1414 5. This should actually be 4, shouldn't it? How many Z layers do we have here? We have 6 right now, don't we? We do. Okay, no, that's correct then. 1414 5. Oh, I'm passing in the minimum and the maximum. Is that correct? Yeah, that is correct. We go from 000 to 1414 5. So I'm a little confused as to why we would be cutting out the position at 1414 anything. What? Oh, never mind. It have something to do with the opposite blocks? It's affecting all of these. Oh, if our Z layer is Z, we check ourselves. Okay, right? Otherwise, no, here we're checking ourselves again. Op block is never reporting that it's outside. It should always be reporting that it's outside. Because right now, part is always being declared as 0. So it's a little confusing to me why that's not happening. Part is like our partition. It's like really confusing the way I've done that. I should probably change that. I'm doing the source ID math wrong. That seems unlikely. So, nothing's truly unlikely when it comes to running down a bug fix. For a door, whatever. If we're not a door and our opposite block has a wall, then we're a middle hall. That makes sense. Otherwise, so what is the is empty check? Is empty is just, if we check is empty, we're basically asking, is our form the same as a null form? Yeah, that's right. It's just the form by itself. I don't want to debug log what a null form looks like. Can I do this? Oh, I can't just write this wherever. Cool if I could do that here. I'm gonna inspect this. We also got ads coming up. Form 0, face 0, part 0. Okay, yeah. Worried for a second that form was not taking its default value of 0. So I don't actually have a defined 0. Test this because I feel like this is wrong. Block dot null dot is outside. The is outside function is not doing what I'm expecting it to do. True. Okay, no, it should be doing what I'm expecting it to do then. It should always be true right now. I could say something like, I could do like, I could say something like, just for testing purposes, I could say, not is empty. I want to check the other one. Um, Okay. So why is everyone being rendered with the wrong color then? Everyone's being rendered with the indoor color, even though seemingly everyone is outside and acknowledging the fact that they are outside. Means the problem is in the auto tiler. So source ID is hull times 4 plus axis, whatever. So hull times 4. And hull is currently written very poorly. It's inner 0, middle 1, outer 2. I don't love this. I would flip this the other way. Outer 0, middle 1, inner 2. But we can't do that yet because we have things depending on the actual order of that. So if we're outer, we're 2 times 4. So we're in the 8 range. So let's look at our tile set. Oh, I did do this wrong. Oh, good. I rewrote this and never changed it. Okay, so outer is 0 and inner is... Okay, that explains it. Problem was between the computer and the chair, or whatever people say. Inner 0, middle 1, outer... no. Outer 0, middle 1, inner 2. That's what we want to see. That should work now. Still needs work. Good morning. Good morning. Still needs work. How's it going? That was the weekend. Okay, we have the right color. Okay, so we're rendering the right color blocks now. That was way more involved than it should be. I'm very curious about this little corner. This little corner that's getting a bite taken out of it. Just a small bite. Just taken from it. Pretty good. You're working on classes for uni for now? Nice. All right, so what could be causing this? And what could be causing this on every level? Oh, it's somewhat telling that there's an outline here. Actually, there's an outline everywhere. That's wrong. There's no outline here. Oh, the floor is not looking below itself. It needs to be looking beneath itself as well for the outlining. That's unfortunate. Okay, that I understand, and I think that I can fix. Ryson, it could be an off by 1 error if you're converting a 2D coordinate into an index. Yeah, we are doing that, but we're doing that what I would consider fairly stably. We do that here. And we have so far not ever had that problem. We are adding minimum to it, but in this case minimum is 0, so it shouldn't matter. Oh, where are we doing that? Here. Get coords, index. Still needs work. You'll be glad when you're done with these classes so you can go back to game dev. Hell yes. I mean, it's very possible we have an off by 1 error. I never discount the off by 1 error. What's weird though is that if you look at the way we're doing this, I don't know why I went here to debug. It's always better to debug from writer. What's weird is if this was just like a missing gap, it would look like this. right? Like it would be this gray color, like this normal gray color. What's happening though is this. So there's something here because it's giving us this dark gray color. So it knows there's a block here. It's just not drawing it. Very strange. There's probably a boundary check for iteration, and I am probably somehow, I probably have an iterator that's going based on size or something, or not size. Maybe. Yeah, I actually don't know what could possibly be cutting off. But let's look in that section of the code. It's happening to both, so it's not layer specific. But I did write this code out twice, so that's not much. It's for every key in hulls.keys. So it's possible we don't add this thing, but I don't think that's possible either because we add a hull to every single one. We don't have like a conditional. Oh, we do have a continue. But that should not affect us. Ryson, you don't think it would be in the conversion to index, but in how you were using it? Index wise, would that missing bottom corner be max -1 or 0? That would be max. It would just be max. So are we skipping it because it's just max? So when we get index, yeah, no, we allow for things to reach max. What is this greater than or equal to volume? Is that right? Yeah, that is right. You know what I'm probably doing? I'm probably going up to volume or length. I'm not going. Well, I should be going up to length if this is an index. We're passing in an index. If the index is less than, well, that's probably not doing anything. Although maybe it is. Maybe I do this. I don't know. We want to check to see if it equals volume. If it equals volume, we've gone too far. That is correct. I think that's correct. Because we start at 0. I don't know. It's weird. Let me see. Let me check this. Let me go back to what I was actually doing. I was going through this code. Alice chords is 0. If it is max, then what are you starting your arrays at 1? No. Line 21 is only less than volume and not less than or equal. Line 21. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. We're not enumerating. Okay, you got it. This is eagle eyes. Yeah, we need to be allowing that. Although that feels wrong to me. Oh no, we don't want to iterate past volume. This is a different thing. This is checking. This is a check that throws an exception. If we've reached volume, we've gone too far. Because the volume is this full size, but we start from 0. So we want to throw an error if we reach volume. So we should iterate only up to 1 less than volume. The volume is like the length. Because the size is maximum minus minimum plus 1. No, but good looking out. I don't notice this stuff. Or I write it all based on one presumption and then I change my presumption and then I go back and then nothing works and I'm like, what happened? What happened? Um, is our enclosure check wrong? Our enclosure check might be wrong. Encloses is, oh, that's for an AABB. Coords, oh, we just use coords as clamp. That should work no matter what. How's that different than overlaps? Oh, that's just a bool. Wait, why do I have two of them? Why do I have encloses and... Oh, because encloses is different. Encloses is like, do we fully enclose? Overlap is like, do we touch at all? Right, that makes sense. You were using I sometimes and index other times. That's true. That's true. I use I for like an iterator in like a for loop, but if I'm passing it as a parameter, I like to call it index. But in a tight in a loop, I don't mind calling it I. So like here it's I because it's just in a loop. But somewhere else I use index. Yeah, because index is being passed in. But whatever. No, I am not consistent. And you're right, consistency can come later. All right, so what could be causing this to not draw? It's something new too, so it's probably something to do with the AABB. Because that used to not be a problem. That wasn't a problem on like Saturday when I was working on this. I'm not 100% sure what I've changed since then. I know I could check and probably figure that out, but also I kind of don't want to. Possible we're not counting that one, but it seems unlikely. I don't have any visibility cutaway thing going on. Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't totally understand that one. What I think I can fix though is the outlines on the bottom of the floor plating. That I do think I understand what's happening, so we might just try to fix that instead. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have I as a parameter name. Yeah, it seems a little loaded. What if I just try doing this? Oh, preview block doesn't do it either. But it's there. It's definitely there. Because I recognize it. So the block is being recorded. The tiles are not drawing. That's so perplexing. The problem I want to deal with is this. This outline should be getting erased. All right, so I need to make some tea. My throat is like scraggly or scratchy. My throat. No, I'll make some tea later. But I apologize to the viewers who have to listen to this more than anything. Um, All right, so the way we fix that, we're checking our adjacent faces. So if this is affecting both the floors and the walls. Walls, try get out value, key plus adjacent face. Key plus adjacent face. Adjacent face is a vector 3. Did I put area or layer first? Oh, I had an opinion about that. Oh, shoot. I had like an opinion about how I wanted to change the ordering of these keys, and I don't remember what it was. It made a ton of sense at the time. Because right now I define the key as position key. It's a vector 4, and it goes X, Y, Z, and then layer W. Why did I want to not do that? Why did I want to put... I wanted to flip those at one point, and I don't remember why. Oh, I'll figure it out. That's one of those, if you can't... If it was important, you would have remembered it. All right, so we have our key. It's a vector 4. And then down here, I am adding to it. So I'm taking my vector 4 key. I'm adding a vector 3, which is not going to work. Ah, that's why I can't find it. So it needs to be adjacent face with... oh, it can't be with. It needs to be new vector 4i adjacent face layer. How do I know my layer? Tile.layer. Okay. Tile.layer. We identify these by layer, and if we're not doing that, we're not going to find what we're looking for. So I need to put that in somewhere else. Here we're doing it because we're looking for a different one. Oh wait, it's key plus vec. Oh no, that is right. Dang it. Never mind. You do want it to be key plus of adjacent face, and you want adjacent face to be a vector 3. So when I do that, when I add a... So we're upcasting a vector 3 to a 4. We just tack on a 0. I mean, I know that's true. Do I have an implicit conversion? I must have defined an implicit conversion somewhere, or I feel like it should be complaining to me about this. Yeah, I do. I have an implicit conversion from vector... Where is it? I have an implicit conversion from... Oh, from 3 to 4. Yeah, exactly this. Okay. It's a new vector with a 0. Okay, well, that's a dead end. So we should be finding this because we're using the layer from the key. But what are our adjacent faces? -1, 1, -1, 1. Oh, we need to be checking below us. We're not doing that. We're just checking our neighbors. Oh, well, that explains it. What's the logic for that then? I want to the goal of this is to erase outlines for homogeneous surfaces. And it should be your neighbors on each side of you as well as your neighbor below you for these. For a wall, it would be your neighbor above you. That's a little confusing. Oh no, I guess the wall doesn't need to check. The wall doesn't. Well, the wall should check. It just doesn't matter what the wall decides. Because the floor overwrites. A floor above a wall overwrites the wall. Because of the way overlapping works with my sprites. So why didn't I write this here? This almost certainly is written in the GDScript version. Let's see. Let's go back and check to make sure the GDScript version does this. I really hope I didn't break anything else with this. All right, so let's draw just a big old plate. Let's go down and we'll draw a big floor underneath it. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so they're both respecting. Well, the wall isn't respecting above it, but actually that's for the best, isn't it? Because of how the cutaway system works. Oh, but wait, the cutaway. Oh, no, you don't want them to look above. You want them just to look down. I love that. Okay. So that works. Yeah, so we need to recreate this minimal outlining effect. And to do that, we just need to look at the neighbor below us. That's it. For a floor. Okay. A wall looks at its floor. Okay. Bear Like Lion. How's it Godot-ing? It's looking great. Thanks. Thanks, Bear Like Lion. It's going good. It's going good. We're still working on the tile editor. That's the old version of the tile editor, which is like way more featured. Not way more, but it's like more developed than the current version of it, which is ironic. But we have this totally different backend, so we're trying to get everything working in that world. But yeah, in this one we can do things like make rooms. We can rotate stuff around. We can tell when a room is contained. We can still do doors as well. How are you doing? How's your weekend? I think I saw you in Foolbox's channel earlier. Yeah, we're trying to just get back to this, get back to that point with our new system. So if I went to go look to see where that auto tiling was happening, I would find it here. You're doing great. You launched your new plays test on Steam. You reached over 200 players already. That's awesome. You just got to get through the work day to get back to game dev. That is it. That is the story. All right. That's awesome that you got so many people interested in the playtest. That is probably not easy. All right. So if we're on X or Y, we do this stuff. We check our neighbor. Check that neighbor. We recalculate some stuff. Oh, that's not for this part. This is the atlas coordinates. Here. If wall type is hull type relative chords, atlas chords dot y plus equals 2. I think this is where we're doing it. So if we go look over at this, oops. What happens when we have a side or a wall or whatever, and we say atlas chords plus y plus blah, atlas chords dot y plus 2. We get this. We get the open top. We get the open top variant. That's what we want to see. Okay, so that's the line. Did I not add that line in the C# side? I almost certainly did. Relic Lion, you didn't see the time. You got to run for work. You'll check in later. Have a great stream. No, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm excited for the results of your playtest. Okay, so if we're not Z, that's right. And halls.tryGetValue, vector 4, tile.position, tile.area, tile.layer plus 3. So that's us checking our wall. And if our wall is there, we add Atlas chords y plus 2. Okay, what about the plus 1 to get to the bottom of it? What about that, though? Where do we... So Atlas chords plus equals increment plus equals the y dot plus equals increment. Dimension is not equal flag dot axis dot z if max axis index is... Oh, does it have to do with this max axis index stuff that I like straight up don't understand? No, but that has to do with our adjacent faces. We just want to check down one. I feel like there's a line here that I'm missing. Because adding 2 is not it. This is for each of our adjacent face. What do we have in adjacent faces? Oh. I added it to this. Why did I delete this? Why did I not copy this over exactly the same? Ugh. Why did I not think I needed that? New. Vector 3i. 0, 0, -1. New. That should do it. That should do it for us. Maybe, or I broke everything. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, it shouldn't be -1. It should be +1. And I launched this without the input handler. Oops. Oopsies. Should be +1. Right? Oh, no, -1. Because Z should go down, but it doesn't for me. Well, I guess it doesn't have to. If X goes this way and Y goes this way, I guess it's reasonable for Z to go up. Yeah, so we want to check below. And we need to turn our input handler back on. Let's get rid of these condition PLM root stuff. And I still don't know what that is. What am I checking? Oh yeah, I was checking to see what happens when I put something beneath this. So what if I put a wall here? Then I go back up. The outline is still there. There's something else we need to do. So here, dot z is, so it's this bit of logic. Did I just cut this out? No, that's the hull type logic. Down here, for adjacent faces. Get max axis. This is why we do the max axis index thing. Right. Adjacent face, max axis index, greater than 0, else 1. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Don't ask me why, but it does. Max axis index is less than 2. Okay, do this. Otherwise, do this. Let's do this. Okay, well, as long as what we have here is written the same way as what we have there, this should work. But that's a big if. Axis is axis.x. Otherwise, adjacent is not equal to hull. Okay. Hulls.tryGetValue. Oh, this we need to do something. We need to say, because if we're looking down, oh shoot. If we're looking down one level, we need to add a layer to it. Okay. I guess I'm being too clever here. We're like iterating through this array when I could just have it hard coded. We're trying to be a little too clever. We have this whole process so that we can just do a loop, and it's like, we're now running into a case where I need to do a check. Because, yeah, we need to check a different layer. What if I just make adjacent face a vector 4? Does that work? I just say 0, 0. This is still very convoluted, but at least we're getting somewhere. We can improve it later. Bryson, back. You thought about it a second longer while you were away. Could be an off by 1 error, whether it is a 2D chord or 1D index. Yeah, it's very strange. The problem for me is I haven't identified a place where we do like a loop. Okay, this I want to say what? So z is -1, and then layer is, oh wait, we're not checking block data. We are checking block data. We need to check. It would be 3. We just add 3. Oh no, it wouldn't be 3. It would be, so we go XYZ, XYZ. And if you're the X, you want to check the next X. Your floor, you check the wall beneath, and you still check that. Okay, so it is 3. Okay, so 3. And then for you, Here it's 0, 0. Okay, this is a very silly way of doing this. But it might work. It might work. Why are you upset with me? Ah, I have to say 4. All right, so a success is if the outline along this side here disappears, this lower outline. Nope. Hmm. But why though? Really want this outline to go away. This one, this second one here, this should not be here. So if not holes, dot try get value, key plus adjacent face. So plus adjacent face would be down 1, and then layer wise plus 3, right? Yeah. That should work for the floors when the floors are checking the walls. I guess I could do like a really limited test of this. Oh, we're not even triggering this. That's concerning. So we didn't even get here. Oh, no, that makes sense because we're failing. We're failing this check somehow. All right, let's test this. This is going to be really annoying to step through, but... Oh, maybe not. Maybe it won't be annoying at all. There we go. Yeah, continue. Continue. This one. This should check. Earth Dude Studios, coding that tile system by your own is pretty impressive, to be honest. I appreciate that. It is not, it is not going particularly well, but thank you. Okay, 0, 14, 4, 3. Yeah, how is this not included in holes? Count equals 6? What? What? Oh no, that makes sense, because there's 0, 14, 4, 3, 0, 14, 4, 4, 0, 14, 4, 5. Wait, 3, 4, 5? We go 0, 1, 2. Oh yeah, 3, 4, 5. So 0, 14, 5, 0 should be here, right? Our key... Oh, 0, 14, 4, 3. 0, 14, 4, 3. This is what we're interested in. But welcome to the chat, Earth Dude Studios. How are you doing? What are you working on? Yeah, we're investing a lot of time into tools, into some very low-level stuff that I'm really hoping will pay dividends later on. Okay, so we have a 0, 14, 4, 3. Are we going to continue? It says adjacent outer. Oh no, it got it. Okay, it got it. So step into, not into, step over. Oh, we're continuing. Wait, you didn't get it? Return false. Key 0, 14, 4, 3. Hulls, count. There it is, 0, 14, 4, 3. If not hulls, try get value. Key plus adjacent face. 0, 14, 4, 3. Oh, plus adjacent face. Ah, okay, continue. Okay, here we are. This is the correct case. So key is 0. Oh, no, it's not. We need to wait for key to be 14, 4, 0. That's the case that I'm interested in. Or 14, 4, 1. Yeah, this one worked, right? We got this one. Plus adjacent face. No, that won't work either. Ah, what is going on here? Okay, that didn't work. Why did that not work? Good, you just got in from a night walk in the rain. Nice. Having some salad, yogurt, and milk. You work mostly with a Java game dev, mostly a soccer game? Oh, cool. That does not sound easy. Having all the little dudes running around at high speed. This is gonna be like a turn-based game because, like, yeah, yeah, high intensity, like high coordination, like real-time stuff seems tough. Seems tricky to me. All right, so this isn't working because our key. So our key that we're interested in, if we keep using the same test, we come out with this layer. Oh, did I put this in the wrong? I did. I'm an idiot. Oops. I need to add this check here. Or wait, no, I did. I did it here. Why isn't this working here? I want to be debugging this. Oops. Oopsies. This is the problem with splitting the code for the two different types of floors. I really need to do something smarter for that. Or not floors, the two for the bulk, which is like the top part, and the deck, which is like the floor part. Right now we're just like, oh, let's do the first 3 layers, then let's do the second 3 layers. I need to like split those up so that they're actually happening separately somewhere. Maybe I do it with a buffer. Because the reason I'm not doing it is, well, no, I don't want to do it with a buffer. I want a dictionary. And I haven't decided about how I would pass around a dictionary in a case like that. But maybe what we do is we assign a layer per entity. And then we just iterate through the entities. And that way the system can still have a dictionary. And we just iterate through each layer as it comes through. And we can process them differently because we can ask them what layer. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know how I want to do that. All right, so our key is 0, 14, 5, 0. So this is the X face. Oh, we just want to continue here. Did I do the test? I distracted myself. I don't even think I had time to do the test. Yeah, I want to just resume. There we go. Oh, are you not going to let me do this? No, it's not going to let me do this. Okay. Can't test it that way. I have to test it a different way. you agree much about high-speed, cognitive demanding games that can get very exhausting. It's nice with games where you can both relax and feel excitement. Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe I can achieve that with turn-based because there's like the thrill of like the turn resolving stuff. But yeah, I feel like there's gonna be too much going on in this game. Um, just because like unlike FTL, you're not gonna be able to see everything all the time. So I feel like because we're trying to do this isometric 3D thing where we're gonna have like multiple levels of decks, which is why we have this crazy weird auto tiler thing that's got multiple layers. But I feel like because that means that some information is gonna be hidden from you at all times. Like I feel like I need to take maybe a more turn-based approach. I never thought about that originally, but in the last like month or two, I'm like, do I need to do that? Probably. But thank you for the follow, Earth Dude Studios. I appreciate that. This is kind of a rough day of bug fixing here. This works. What's maddening is that this process works here. It works in the original version of the auto tiler that was in GDScript. But the C# version of it is not doing all of these nice things. Yeah, I think doing this as an adjacent face thing where we iterate through, I think this is stupid. Because this max axis index thing is just telling me what so we're iterating through each face and I'm just figuring out like which the dominant axis is and like we're doing stuff based on that. Oh, this is gonna break because we're doing a max axis index from I can't do it this way. I added the layer information to the adjacent face, but that's breaking our max axis index thing because it's returning W. All right, I just need to rewrite this, and we just need to be less clever about it. This is why it would be cool to just have this broken out per layer, and each layer gets to have its own logic about how it wants to complete, instead of just going through it like this. I think that'd be the better way to do it. I might do that tonight. I might try to rewrite that tonight. I got like a Godot little game dev co-working session. Not going to try to do it right now. If I try to do it right now, a lot of things are going to break. We're just going to go back to this Vector 3i version of this for now, even though it doesn't work. It worked kind of. Let's try to figure out the other thing. I know what I want to do for this, for dealing with this additional, this errant outline. But let's solve the mystery of the disappearing object, the disappearing tile at the max coordinates. Because that's interesting, and I also have no idea what's causing it. And it wasn't like that on Saturday, so I did something since then that has busted it. So add those back to 3s. Just run this real quick, make sure we didn't break anything. This is fine. Oh, this is oh no. That's oh wait, what's happening? Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Tricking myself here with the perspective. Oh, this behaves very badly if I hold this and operate across multiple layers. Eventually we want to support that sort of thing, but right now it's just not behaving well at all. So what if I do this and I just go up and up and up? Okay. We've got something going on here. But why is that happening there and only when I do this a weird way? All right, so if I do this like normally, seems fine. Oh no, we broke something. Okay. I think I might know what I did. I should take these out because I don't think we're using these correctly now, which is why I removed them in the first place, probably. Does it work correctly now? Was that it? Yeah, okay. I think it was. Yeah, it was. Okay. So it was that. It was my attempt, one of my attempts to add the negative because I really want to get rid of this unnecessary outline. This should just be one big block. And the other version of the auto tiler can do that, but this one cannot. Okay, let's figure out what this thing is. So there's a block here. We know there's a block here. The whole system is confirming that there's a block here because it's making it this dark gray, but it's not rendering it, which means somewhere between the whole system and the tile, I don't know, the tile ID stuff, like the Atlas chords and stuff like that, it's not iterating through this thing. So let's figure that out. So it's somewhere, we're doing some kind of check. I guess let's look for references to an AABB, maybe. I guess that doesn't necessarily, it isn't necessarily the problem. So op block, kind of meaningless. What's weird is it's the whole block that's not working. So every face of the block is failing to be drawn, which means whatever's going on is like going on across the whole thing. Is it this? Minimum to maximum? Oh, end. End. I'm defining end as the maximum with a z of area, and then I'm saying less than end. Dang it. Used to be this. The end is, or we could just say less than or equal to end. Dang it. Okay, it wasn't off by one error. It had to have been, right? Like there's no real world where it wasn't. It should work now. Yeah, okay. We're not missing that little tip. All right, okay. Um, well, we fixed some bugs of our own making, which I guess all bugs are bugs of your own making unless it's like in the tool that you're using. This should be writing over, shouldn't it? Like when you're doing something like this, shouldn't these like lines be drawing over? Why are they not? Go look at the line layers. Your z index is 0. Your z index is also 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's not right. You should be 0. Well, it should be 1. It should be 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. That should be right. Huzzah. Bryson, the two hardest problems in programming are naming things, cache invalidation, and off by 1 errors. That is exactly it. All right. Okay, good. And we have the guidelines are working, which should help you get a better sense of layering stuff. I'm gonna snooze the ads. Adagon with the hydrate. How's it going, Adagon? D2 Jam is looking great. You are really on a tear. Working on that. Was that just good timing? Are you like in between work or school or something? You seem to be like just destroying that task, that project, the Down to Jam website as it's now called. Semester just started this month. Okay, so you're still ramping up. You've got some time. Do it now or don't do it at all is probably the time constraint you're operating under. Well, it's looking awesome. I'm not even letting us draw on the bottom level. I guess I want to add logic to prevent you from adding a floor to the bottom level. All right. I'm actually going to wrap it up here. I have a bunch of stuff I need to do. I know this is like a really short stream for me. Only 2 hours. It's crazy. But I need to get lunch and start some laundry and do some stuff. Who knew that if you take a long weekend, there's a ton of stuff waiting for you when you get back to work? So I got to go deal with that. But it's just Tuesday, so we'll be doing this every day through Saturday this week. So we'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate everyone hanging out. All the new faces, same familiar faces, everyone hanging out here. Yeah, it is a good stopping point, Ryson, because anything I dig into now would be like a while. Tonight, I'm going to try to rethink this processing layers thing. See if I can break it out into each layer and just have dedicated logic for each type of layer. So I'm not doing all these checks everywhere. I'm going to try to work on that tonight. But yeah, I'm going to get the music going. Set us up. If you're able to, I hope I get to see you sometime this week. We stream same time pretty much. Usually we go a little later than this, a little longer. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.